It is that time of the year where you're filling up your master's applications. Now, almost all of you will be doing it for the first time and hopefully for the last time as well. So it is common for you to have certain doubts. Now, these doubts are also very common. How do we know that? Because at Gradvine, we guide thousands of students every year, with 98% of them making it to a top 50 university for their program. And here are some of the most common doubts students have while filling applications, and I am here to clarify them. Should I waive my right to viewing the LOR? What if my LOR reaches after the deadline? I've reported my score through ETS and ETS shows it's reached, but the application portal still says the score is not updated. Well, if you have any of these type of questions or several others, you certainly should watch the rest of this video because I'm going to clarify all your queries. I am Sreekar Reddy. I'm the co-founder of Gradvine. I'm a Dartmouth grad myself, and I'm going to be your best friend through your master's application journey, so stay tuned. Alright, so the most common doubt that we receive from a majority of students, number 1, should I waive my right to view the LOR? Well, the answer to that question is yes. You should waive your right to view the LOR. What waiving means is that you do not wish to see the LOR that your recommender has uploaded. This shows a certain level of confidence in your recommender and the fact that your recommender likes you. So it's good to reflect that confidence and waive your right. Don't worry if you've not waived your right before submitting the application, it won't make much of a difference. But if you have the choice, it is always better to say yes to waiving your rights. Now, before I move on, you can see that my team has put timestamps on this video. So if you want to skip to a specific question, scroll down and view it. In addition, as a bonus offer, if you have any question that is not answered in this video, comment below and my team will answer your question. Number 2, is it okay if my recommender uploads the LOR a little after the deadline, or is it okay if my recommender uploads the LOR a little before I submit my application itself? The answer to both these questions is yes in most cases. Now, for the first part, in terms of the recommender uploading the LOR before you submit your application, there is absolutely no problem with that. In fact, we recommend that students send the LOR upload link or enter their recommender's details in the application well before they submit any other application materials, so that the recommender gets the link and has enough time to upload the LORs. Whenever it is uploaded before the deadline, it's not a problem even if you haven't submitted the application yet. Now, in certain rare cases, universities understand that recommenders are busy and they might upload the LOR a little after the deadline. So for most universities, this is still fine if the recommender is uploading the LOR a little after the deadline, but we recommend that you try and push them to do it before the deadline to save yourself some tension. Now I'm charging along to question number 3, but if you're finding this a little too overwhelming and still have a lot of confusion, we've done a 20-minute elaborate video where we sit along with you and fill an application form. You can click on this link to access that video. The next most common question is, I have reported my test scores from ETS. ETS says they've reached the university, but the university portal still shows my scores have not reached and the deadline is closed or the deadline has passed. Well, you don't have to worry about this at all. It is common for university portals to take time to get updated. In all likelihood, your score is sitting there in the backend for reviewers and the admissions committees to take a look. So don't worry if your portal is not updated. I wouldn't even worry if the university is sending emails saying that your score is not updated, as long as ETS says the score is sent. Should I report my scores paying ETS? Where do I find the codes to report these scores? Well, whether you should report your scores or no will be clearly mentioned in your application portal. Remember this, if the university says that official scores are required before the deadline, then you have to send your scores through ETS by paying the fee. If the university says unofficial scores are required, then the score that you enter along with your PDF report of your GRE copy in your application is enough. You don't have to pay the additional fee and submit it to the university. Also keep in mind, for universities where GRE scores are not required or won't be considered, there is no point sending the score because they will not take it into consideration while giving you the admission. Now, a lot of universities also say unofficial scores are fine until we give you the offer of admission. If you're offered an admit, you need to send your official scores. So do so accordingly. Now, how do you find the GRE codes? Well, this is something which sort of irritates me about certain students, if I can take the liberty to say that. The power of a Google search is tremendous. In fact, if you're applying to a university, maybe Purdue, you can do this exercise along with me. Just Google Purdue Engineering GRE score code and you will see the result right up there with the page link. It will not take you even 10 minutes to compile the list of codes from the university websites based on your shortlist of universities. However, if you're really time crunched and can't do that, if you comment below, we have a list of all the GRE codes for the top MS programs for the most popular universities which you can access. So comment away. Next most common confusion: what is my given name? What is my surname? Should I enter it according to my passport? Should I enter it according to my transcript? Well, to answer the first part of this question, you absolutely have to give your name as it is on your passport. The passport is the most important detail because even during the visa interview, your I-20 form, which is your final offer of admit, and your passport name will be tallied, and visa officers care about that. Therefore, follow your passport always. In your passport, your given name is your first name. You most likely will not have a middle name, as most students don't, and your surname is the last name. Another question that throws students into panic, especially when they're submitting their application on deadline day, is as follows: my card is not working, I'm not able to pay the application fee, what do I do now? It's better to be safe than sorry here. If you're paying through a card, make sure that it is an internationally activated debit card, or even more preferably a credit card, which is more likely to be accepted. Make sure that you have these cards in hand. Even if you don't have an internationally accepted credit card or a debit card, please take one from your relative or your friend and keep it handy. We get too many students panicking at the last moment because their debit card is not activated for international transactions. Alright, the final question, and one that really throws students into disarray at times. Now, it never happens with our Gradvine students because we are always holding their hand. But in case you're not getting assistance, this is a common question. I have made a mistake in my application and I've submitted it. What do I do? Isn't it the end of the world? Well, here is something that is going to make you feel a little better. US admissions committees are very, very considerate. Now, I've heard of students who've forgotten to upload an SOP in the application and they've submitted, and the university emailed them saying that, hey, you seem to have forgotten the SOP. Are you sure you don't want to submit one? And then the student was able to send it in and got their application reviewed and got into the university as well. So if there is any error in the application, please write an email to the admissions committee and mention what you want to correct in the application, and they will most likely accept it. They want to accommodate you and make you feel comfortable with the process, and therefore, in case of any mistakes, don't hesitate to communicate with them and you'll be fine. However, don't take their understanding for granted and be negligent with the process, or even worse, don't be inconsiderate. Alright, so I think I've covered a lot of questions and doubts that you might have had, and I hope this video was useful. Of course, if you have any further queries, you can always comment down below and we'll clarify your questions. And if you found this video useful, please subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with your friends.